The Switchback LED C-bar projector headlights we have here are a great choice for F-250 and F-350 owners who want to upgrade from their standard halogens. These bring a dose of modern styling and improved lighting output to the table for an affordable price. One quick note on fitment here before we dive in. These are designed to fit 2017 to 2019 F-250s and F-350s that came equipped with factory halogen headlights. The big highlight here are, of course, the huge C-bar style LEDs that run around the outer edge of these lights. They have a big impact on style, and they are definitely the most eye-catching element here. These are a fiber optic LED, so they light up a diffused white to act as your daytime running lights, and they combine with the 6 smaller LEDs on the inner edge here to give you enough of a glow that your truck will not be missed out on the road. It's not too over the top though, and especially against the jet black inner housings, these give the truck an air of aggression and a bit more of a modern style. Those C-bars are switchback too, so when you activate your turn signals or your hazard lights, they're going to switch to amber and flash in conjunction with the halogen turn signal bulb right here at the center. Again, just makes your truck that much cooler and more visible out on the street. Headlight output is taken care of by the dual projector setup here. These are powered by OEM style H9 bulbs, so they have a bit of a warmer light temperature than LEDs, but thanks to the projectors, they have a wide beam pattern with a nice sharp cutoff. So especially as compared to your standard halogens, these are going to throw a lot more light a lot further down the road. And the advantage to having halogen style bulbs here is that replacements or even upgrades are easy to get and affordable too. The outer housings are made from polypropylene with clear polycarbonate lenses over top, which is very much an industry standard setup. The housings are weather sealed to keep out dirt and moisture, and you'll also find integrated adjusters right here on the back, so you can get these aimed properly, and that means they are DOT and SAE approved, so they're fully street legal. Pricing comes in at about $625. Now that's still a good chunk of change, but that does mean they are some of the most affordable upgraded headlights you can get for these trucks. And the pair here is far more affordable than even just one factory halogen replacement from Ford. So especially if you need to replace your headlights, it may make sense to save some money and upgrade at the same time by snagging a set of these. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 1 hour to complete. Now the whole thing is designed to be plug and play, so these should swap right in place of your factory halogens, so you don't have to do any wiring or other permanent modifications in order to get them fitted. We're going to walk you through the installation process right now, so for that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll get to it.
For this install, you will need an impact, a 10mm socket, a small pry tool or a clip removal tool, the provided inline taps, or for how we did ours, wire strippers and crimpers, and not shown here would be male spade connectors and some T-taps. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some headlights on our F-250, but before we get started we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory headlights. We'll see you when you get back.
Alright guys, now obviously before we can get our new headlights installed, we're going to have to do some uninstall work here and get our old factory headlights out. To do that, we're going to remove the radiator shroud as well as the grille cover here. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Alright guys, now to get the radiator shroud off, we have a whole series of these locking pins here. If you've never worked with these before, they're basically 2 pieces. You lift up the center piece that unlocks it, and then you pull up on the base. All you need is a flathead screwdriver to do that. Alright guys, with all the pins removed, go ahead, you're gonna have to pull out on the passenger side here a little bit to get this tab out from under, and then just lift it over. All right guys, next up we're gonna remove about 8 of these bolts here using a 10mm socket. All right, now with those bolts out from the top, all we have holding our grill on is a series of locking tabs that kind of push into slots that are mounted on the frame behind it. So all we're gonna need to do is grab onto the grill and give it a nice gentle but deliberate pull, and we should be able to get our grill off. All right guys, and we're gonna have a total of 4 10mm bolts we're gonna have to take out for each headlight, and we're gonna start at the bottom here. I'm kind of peeling down this rubber weather stripping here. It's between our bumper and our fender. And I have a 10mm socket on an extension. Take this out. All right guys, then we have 2 on the inside here. Again, a 10mm. All right guys, now we have the last one up on top here. All right, now the only thing holding in the headlight at this point, now we have those 4 bolts out, is a little bit of the locking tab. Just kind of pull it out like that. I'm lifting it down kind of gently here. We're going to unplug all of this before we pull our headlight away. And we got a total of 4 harnesses that we're going to unplug here.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory lights off, we can begin preparing to install our new headlights. Now the first thing we're going to need to do is connect our adapter harness for our DRL lights. Now you're going to need some male spade connectors for the way we're going to do it, because we already have T-taps installed from previous setups, or you can use the end taps that come with the kit. And if you're using those end taps, these are just going to slide into one end of them, and then they're going to clamp around the factory wire, and we'll show you which wires you need to go to. Now for ours, which honestly makes it a little bit more modular, we're going to need to strip some sheathing away. So we've got our strippers. Get that off. And these ends are soldered together, which makes it a lot easier. Just want to make sure you have enough wire exposed to get a good connection. So once we have those stripped, we'll grab our male spade connectors. Get one in our crimper, slide our wire into that, give that a nice crimp. And I like to give them a little tug afterwards just to make sure you got a solid connection. Then we'll do the same thing for our other wire. Okay, now that we've got those 2 crimped, we'll plug them into our body side of our harness. We'll show you where to hook those up. Alright guys, so as you can see, we already have T-taps on our body side of our connector for our marker bulb / turn signal. We're We're going to hook these two wires up to the signal wires for the DRLs and the turn signals, so they're going to be your two outer wires. We're going to plug those in like so, and they just plug in right to the back of the T-taps. And how these T-taps work is they have a saddle inside of them. You just want to clamp the T-tap over the factory side of the wire, give that a nice firm snap, and then these spade connectors plug right into the back side. So now that we have that in place, we'll grab our headlight and get it set up. Now our headlight does come with factory style connectors, so we're going to start plugging all those in. So we've got one for our high beams, it's going to be up top, and low beams. Now these are interchangeable. You can plug them into either or, they are the same connector. Make sure they seat fully. Our marker bulb connector. And for our turn signal and DRL, that's going to go connector right on the back side of our headlight. Make sure that snaps in. And our adapter plug is going to go into that 2-pin plug on the headlight. Now that we have all these in place, we'll set our headlight into its mounting area. Make sure to get it behind the bumper. Turn around. You also want to line up that rear locator. You want to make sure you're not pinching any wires or plugs. Next, we can reinstall our 10mm screws. So we've got our 10mm socket on our impact. We'll start with our top one, and we'll get the two out front. Now we'll get our two front screws in. Now after you have these in, you should also get the one in the lower corner behind your bumper that is no longer with us, but you definitely want to get that one in as well. Now once you have this one installed, you can do the same thing for the other headlight. Now once you have both your headlights in, we can start reinstalling our grille. So we're going to get this in place. You want to line up your bottom locator tabs. Once that's lined up, you want to give it a nice push, lock all your tabs back in place, then we'll come back in and reinstall all our 10mm screws up top. Now we've got our 10mm socket on our impact, and we'll reinstall all 8 of our screws up top. Next we can reinstall our upper shroud. You want to make sure you get that little air dam back down in its spot. We'll reinstall all of our push clips. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our Switchback LED C-bar projector headlights with jet black housings and clear lenses for your 17 to 19 F-250 Super Duty with factory halogen headlights. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-250, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.